don't be discouraged, Mr. Guerrero. Latino Heat, I haven't forgotten about you. In fact, this tune-up match with Superstar Graham, think of it as sort of a dress rehearsal for our encounter at Black Friday. I'll see you then.
Fans, welcome back to RWL Rage. Up next, our first-time encounter between the one and only Superstar Billy Graham, along with the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, facing Mad Dog Mark McKay, accompanied as always by Miss Morse X.
This is going to be a great match.
This next match, scheduled for one fall, with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring, along with the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, from Paradise Valley, Arizona, weighing 275 pounds, the Superstar, Billy Graham.
Some say he was the blueprint for Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and several others. Superstar Billy Graham, the innovator of that unique look, a one-of-a-kind personality, Superstar Billy Graham, making his way to the ring with the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, set to face Mad Dog Mark McKay in this matchup. McKay taking a brief respite from his ongoing dispute with Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero, and those two will clash at Black Friday.
But this is a pretty noticeable mismatch, guys. Maybe McKay's trying to destroy a bigger target. Maybe hoping to intimidate Latino Heat before Black Friday. But I don't know that it would even work. I'm not even sure McKay's not in over his skis in this match.
Well, whether he is or whether he ain't, we're going to find it out.
His opponent, along with Miss Morse X, from Ithaca, New York, weighing 205 pounds, Mad Dog Mark McKay.
The Mad Dog and his shadow, Miss Morse X. The mysterious Miss Morse X, leading Mad Dog Mark McKay down to the ring for this encounter with the Superstar. And I've got to admit, Superstar Billy Graham outsizes, outweighs, and outpowers Mad Dog Mark McKay by a pretty significant margin. And so the question would be, does Mad Dog Mark McKay have what it takes to face Superstar Billy Graham prior to his upcoming encounter at Black Friday with Eddie Guerrero?
I'm honestly not sure, but I'm not going to sell McKay short. He's pulled some pretty impressive upsets in the past, including against Eddie Guerrero.
Well, Mr. McKay setting aside his differences with Eddie Guerrero for this match with Superstar Billy Graham, this first-time encounter, and I'm sure Mad Dog Mark McKay hopes that Eddie Guerrero is watching. Referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell. The men come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. McKay whips Graham to the far right corner, follows it up with a running splash. Graham down in the corner. There's a boot right to the throat from Mad Dog Mark McKay. Graham rolls out of the corner. McKay moves in on him, follows it up with a stomp. The Grand Wizard of Wrestling trying to encourage Graham, trying to rally him into this one as McKay begins to assert himself. Graham counters with elbows to the midsection of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay catches a shoulder tackle right in front of Miss Morse X. A hard right, a kick to the midsection from Graham, and a clubbing overhand right from the Superstar. Followed up with a slam right down to the mat for Mad Dog Mark McKay as Graham ascends the turnbuckle. Here he comes, and woohoo, a slight misjudgment in distance from Superstar Billy Graham. Quickly covering it up with a blow to the head of Mad Dog Mark McKay, whips him to the far left turnbuckle. The Grand Wizard of Wrestling perhaps becoming directly involved here. Another clubbing overhand right. McKay smashed headfirst into the turnbuckle. McKay puts the brakes on Superstar Graham. Look at this right here. Slams him face first down to the canvas. Follows it up with a stomp to the head. Mad Dog Mark McKay starts to unload with hard right hands to the head of Superstar Graham. Graham taken down with a clothesline. McKay with a hard right drops Graham center ring. McKay rounds Graham up one more time here. And what a neck breaker. McKay quickly going for a pin. 1, 2. A near fall fairly early on in this matchup for Mad Dog Mark McKay. He locks up Superstar Graham again, whips him to the far right corner. McKay with a kick to the calf of Superstar Graham over the rope. A jab, all right. A chop. Graham quickly counters, goes behind on Mad Dog Mark McKay. Gathers him up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry. Escorts him towards the ropes. Has him up and oh no, you're kidding. Oh! He just threw Mad Dog Mark McKay straight up out of the ring. McKay, indicating to the fans it didn't even hurt, apparently, goes behind on Superstar Graham on the outside. Drives a knee into the back of Superstar. Drives another knee into the head of the Superstar as Willie Johnson initiates the count. Another knee to the head of Graham, and he is busted open. Mad Dog Mark McKay certainly living up to the name. A chop across the chest, a kick, another chop. And whoosh, down goes Superstar Graham on the outside. Another driving knee to the head from McKay as Willie Johnson urges McKay to get him back inside the ring, but he don't care. He is just going off. Mad Dog Mark McKay really going to work on Superstar Graham. A stomp right to the face as McKay rolls himself back in, allowing Willie Johnson to continue the count. Oh, he's changed his mind. He's going to start the count all over again. A kick right to the back of Superstar Billy Graham. Graham counters with a dragon screw on the outside. McKay catches the stomp to the midsection down there on the outside. A big-time elbow across the back of Mad Dog Mark McKay from the Superstar. Superstar Graham rounds up McKay. Headlock punch followed up with a series of battering blows to McKay that take him down to the floor. Superstar Graham finally getting Mad Dog Mark McKay back inside the ring, stopping long enough to treat the front row fans to a little show as the Grand Wizard undoes that turnbuckle in the far left corner. Graham going right into it. Oh, right in the chest of Superstar Graham. The Grand Wizard hoisting his man on his own petard here as Mad Dog Mark McKay snaps the leg on Superstar Graham. Drives another knee into Graham's head. Graham quickly back up, charges, catches, walks right into a jab and a series of blows that takes him down to one knee. Mad Dog McKay again with the neckbreaker sends Graham flying. Superstar Billy Graham at a huge disadvantage at the present time as McKay locks in a heel hook stretch on the Superstar. Superstar Graham pinned, covered, one. Only a one this time. Graham quickly getting the right shoulder up. Mad Dog Mark McKay catches a kick to the head from Superstar Graham, followed up with a stomp to the midsection. McKay counters with an elbow, a kick to the gut. Sets him up for that third neck breaker. Superstar Graham's going to start hurting pretty soon. The Grand Wizard of Wrestling interceding on behalf of Superstar Graham. McKay arguing with him. Graham is still laid out. There won't be any distraction this time. Graham is motionless as McKay makes his way to the top turnbuckle. And here he comes. Oh! Whoa! Right across the throat of the Superstar. A cover. 1, 2. But again, no. Superstar Graham finding his way out of danger. McKay gouging the face of the Superstar. Oh! Went right for the odds. Mad Dog Mark McKay urging Graham to get up so he can knock him right back down again. Another knee to the head of the Superstar, who rolls to the outside looking for some kind of respite, and he's not going to get it. Mad Dog Mark McKay rounds him up again. Superstar Graham at a gigantic disadvantage at the present time as Mad Dog Mark McKay really begins to press the attack here. Graham pitched towards the barricades. Another driving knee doesn't find the mark that time. Graham gets a hold of Mad Dog Mark McKay. A headlock punch from McKay. Superstar Graham with a kick to the midsection. He's got him up over the shoulder. Into a submission move here, a Canadian backbreaker. But he's not going to get a submission on the outside. McKay regains control of things, pitches Graham towards the timekeeper's area. Makes his way back inside the ring as Willie Johnson continues to count. The Grand Wizard of Wrestling getting into it again with Mad Dog Mark McKay, Miss Morse X standing there impassively looking at Superstar Graham. As the Wizard continues to argue with Mad Dog Mark McKay, Graham makes his way back inside. Whoa, what a shot. And now we're going to start trading blows back and forth here. McKay getting into it with Superstar Graham. Just trading shots back and forth. McKay has done this before and he is good at it. Superstar Graham might wind up being overmatched in this one. Graham trying to put an end to this situation, but McKay with a chop across the throat. McKay puts on the brakes, nails him with a couple of hard shots, and that argument is over. A couple of quick jabs and a hard left. Drops Superstar Graham down to the canvas again, center ring. Mad Dog Mark McKay once more ascending the top turnbuckle here. Superstar Graham very slowly making his way to the top, way to a standing position, and oh! A flying elbow right across the head of Superstar Graham as McKay goes for the pin. 1, 2, and again no. Superstar Billy Graham still engaged in this one. McKay with a kick to the head of Graham. Graham gets a hold of McKay, going for a bear hug here, hoping to get a submission, but the referee says too close to the ropes, break it up. McKay slams Graham face first into the canvas. The Grand Wizard absolutely apoplectic as the cloverleaf is tied in by McKay on the leg of Superstar Graham. Once more, McKay getting ready to go air on Superstar Graham. The Superstar makes his way to a standing position. The Wizard arguing with Willie Johnson, hoping to distract him. McKay going for the pin. Willie Johnson, otherwise engaged with the manager, changes his mind here. 1, 2, 3, and that is going to do it. Superstar Billy Graham defeated by pinfall by Mad Dog Mark McKay.
Here's the time, 8 minutes 52 seconds. Your winner, Mad Dog Mark McKay.
You know, Don, Mad Dog Mark McKay gets just a little bit more impressive every single time we see him. He just got a pinfall win over the Superstar. Are you kidding?
Indeed, Mad Dog Mark McKay certainly moving up the ladder fairly smoothly these days. And here's the replay. Mad Dog Mark McKay comes off that top turnbuckle with the double axe handle to Graham, getting the 3-count pinfall despite the Grand Wizard's interceding. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more RWL Rage right after this.